All right, folks, are you all ready for day 2? I know we just logged on here, so we'll give it a couple of minutes for everyone else to hop on. But for the new folks that may be watching this live or later, just want to do a quick introduction. My name is Caesar. I've been wholesaling, virtual wholesaling for the last 12 months now, 13 months. And in my first 12 months, I did over $100,000 of assignment fees, closed and funded. So, not a guru, but just a regular guy who got rid of or he left the 9-to-5 grind to create freedom and legacy. And this channel is really just all about documenting the real journey, the wins, the struggles, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. And the main goal here is to grow together and inspire each other to action. No excuses, just moves. So at the end of this, if you find my channel valuable, smash that like button, subscribe, and most importantly, leave your biggest takeaway in the comment below. I'd love to hear from all of you. Also, any feedback, any best practice that you can share, I would appreciate that as well, as I am here to grow with you guys. That being said, I do have an amazing guest speaker today. His name is Steve. I'm going to put him, get him on here. So Steve is from Property Leads, and he's done some good work with me in the past. And I wanted him to come today because, as you all know, I'm a big fan of Speed to Lead, which is their competitor. But I also want to provide you guys another source, another lead source that you guys can use, and for you to decide, which one you guys like and which one makes sense, right? And so, yeah, so Steve, enough with me. Go ahead and, one last thing, by the way, I forgot. Steve is also going to do us a huge favor today and talk about what Property Leads had set in place already to make sure that they stay compliant for January 27th. For the most of you or some of you who may not know what's going on the January 27th, Steve will explain that and go into greater details. So enough with me. Steve, go for it, man.
Thank you for having me on your platform here, Caesar. I'm Steve. I'm from Property Leads. I'm a salesman over with the team. Give you a little background on myself. I was a 16-year woodworker. I ended up starting a real estate business back in 2018. I had my own real estate business for about 6 years. I also coached real estate, a very specific niche of real estate. So I did like creative real estate, like sub-2s, owner financing. I did that for several years. And then I actually took a job recently in the last year with Property Leads and to get on the marketing side, because I was never on the marketing side. I was on that cold calling 100,000 people, getting people in the Northeast who are calling me names and everything, but still doing deals. But it's cold calling is a hard way to be successful. It works, but if you have extra time on your hand, that's probably the route you're going to go to save some money. Where with Property Leads or any kind of inbound PPL, that's going to be a situation where we're going to do all the marketing for you. And instead of having to sift through 200, say, cold calls to find, between 8 and 12 leads, we're just providing you with the people who are looking for cash offers now. So when you receive a lead from us, it's literally seconds old. They just filled out a form asking for an offer now. You receive that lead in live time. You call them and you close a deal like you've probably seen Caesar do before.
Perfect. Absolutely. And I have a treat for all of you guys. I actually ended up getting Property Leads yesterday at 2:47 p.m. And by 5:30 p.m., I already closed one of them. And the other one, I had scheduled a call for us to make a call after this. So I'll definitely do some live calls after Steve and I do our thing. And then, we'll definitely get into it.
I love it. So what I figured we would do, which will probably be helpful, is kind of getting familiar, Caesar. I know you are and your partner, but people who are watching with like what the Property Lead software looks like, what is inbound, like bidding system, what does that mean, how that works, how to customize your territories, the different versions of how you can buy leads. So for example, you can buy leads from us in 3 different ways. You can get national leads. Those are leads that can come in anywhere over the country. You can do statewide leads. That could be either you pick one state or as many states as you want, and they can come in anywhere over that state or states, or you can do as specific as by county, like say in your backyards, areas that you're familiar with that are local, and it's a bidding system. So the person who pays the most per lead gets the leads first. They hit their budget, the price drops, it goes to the next person. So essentially you have like a range of which you can set your prices so that when you do get leads, you get them for the price that you're comfortable with. And you're just setting a monthly budget, which is an amount of spend a month that you're comfortable paying. You'll get leads till you hit that number. Once you hit, say, $1,000 is what you're spending a month on leads, your account will pause until the following first of the next month to reopen for your next monthly spend. So if you want, Caesar, if you have the ability to screen share and say, bring up your account, I can kind of walk through, if that works for you, I can walk through
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
platform and almost do like a quasi onboarding call like you could expect if you were to talk to someone like me and we were to set up your account. So what you guys are looking at now, and Caesar, stop me at any point. If you have any thoughts, questions that other people could be thinking, please stop me and we'll just go from there. But what you guys are currently looking at is the main screen right now for property leads. So Caesar has set up his 9 territories. So he's doing statewide leads for the first 6. And then you see he's doing a couple local markets. Well, that's nice. You can do like a hybrid. You can do statewide, national, and you can do stuff in your backyard all at the same time. So let me kind of show you how this works. We'll start at the top here. So let's say California. So California statewide leads are $75 a lead. What that means is when a lead is created and it comes to you, your account will be billed for $75. You get that lead texted and emailed to you. Now, here's what you're going to be texted and emailed. So let's say Caesar's the owner of a property. All right. He goes and fills out a form. We capture them like in one of our SEO sites as an example. And he fills out a form saying, I want a cash offer now. Here's my contact info, my address of my house, when I'm selling, how much I want for the house. Here's some property information, reason for selling, so motivation. And he submits the form. Within 3 seconds of him clicking submit the form, that lead is delivered to the next lead buyer in line who's up to get it. And speed to lead is very important. In the inbound world, you don't want these sitting for, minutes or hours. Like when you get a lead, and I'm sure Caesar yesterday, this was a similar situation. When you got one, you want to call these people within like 60 seconds. So you're catching them while the iron's hot and preventing them from filling out any other forms to create competition for you. And it sounds like you got in there first yesterday, Caesar. I'm just curious, what was the motivation for the gentleman you talked to yesterday, or the lady?
Yeah, the lady, she's getting old and she just wants to move. She's got like 26 grandkids, and usually people want to be near them, and she loves it, her grandkids. She's like, but man, everyone comes to Meemaw every weekend and I'm just getting tired. Like, I've got a big place and everyone comes there every weekend and I just want to go to one of their places. So I want to sell this, have some money in my pocket, get a smaller place, and that way they don't come to Meemaw every weekend. And so that's what it was.
No, that's huge, man. And one of the big things is, right, like you got to figure out when it comes to the motivation of these sellers, it's not just, hey, I got a cash offer, I got to reach out to them and get this at a certain percentage so that there's profitable. Those things don't even happen until you find out what the situation is, where they're going, what happens if they don't get there by that timeline, and how that impacts them, so that you can potentially create an opportunity there. But you got to be able to make some kind of connectivity. Real estate is such a sentimental thing, so you got to be able to connect, and clearly you're good at that. So that's awesome. All right, so let's kind of continue to go here. So what I explained with
Steve, quick question for you. That example that you said, seller goes in, fills it out, right? And then if I'm the next one in line, meaning let's say I bid $300, right? Then obviously the guy that's bidding higher will be the next one in line. So I bid $300, I get that lead. Like, how long do I have that lead for? Obviously I have that lead forever because it's in my CRM now, but does that lead get resold within your guys' system? Obviously the seller is filling out other forms, so we can't control that. But as far as within property leads, do I have that exclusively, or does it get resold?
Good question. So everybody follow me here. So I'm going to say what the answer is, and I'm going to explain it because there's a lot to it. So the leads are exclusive to a form fill. So let me explain what that means. We produce leads in 5 different places. So that would be SEO, organic marketing, so our top ranked sites. It would be Google pay-per-click, which is Google advertising, TV, radio ads, and social media redirect marketing. So those are the 5 different places that we produce leads from. So let's say Caesar gets a lead from one of our SEO sites. That's going to be exclusive to him. Now, if that same seller fills out a form on, let's say, a Facebook ad, that would be a separate lead. But for that to happen, and that's why I was saying the speed to lead is important, it typically takes like 5 or 6 minutes for someone to fill out a form. If you're calling them within a minute, then that's going to prevent them from filling out any other forms. Because not only could it be sold again on our site because they filled out a different source, it could also go to iSpeed's websites. It could go to LeadZolo, whoever the company is, because there's sites obviously everywhere owned by different companies. Yep. So that's why you want to fill out forms immediately to prevent them to creating more competition for you. Because sellers realistically are smart to try to drum up as many offers as possible. But if you call them quick and you can insert a solution right away, there's no need for them to fill out multiple forms, especially if they like you and you can solve their problem.
Great answer. And Steve, one other question for you, and you might have an answer to this, maybe not. When a seller's filling out the form, right? Obviously, they're going to fill out their phone number, their name. Is it you guys? I can't remember, but as soon as they fill that out, does the lead go into the system already, or does it wait until they hit enter?
All right. So when you say go into the system, do you mean is it going to the lead buyer in line to buy the lead?
Yeah.
All right.
The reason why I asked that, sorry, I know you were about to answer. The reason why I ask is because we also were doing PPCs, and we still do that. And so when we're doing PPCs, which is from another company, they don't have to fill out everything in the form. As soon as their name and phone number is on there, we get it. And you can see in our CRM, it doesn't have any notes yet. And then within literally 2 minutes, the notes will pop up. And so the reason why I'm asking that is because to piggyback on what you're saying, whenever I get the name and the phone number, I'm shooting a quick text going, hey, you just filled out a form. I'll be calling you shortly from this number. And then next thing you know, I get the rest of the notes, and then I pick up the phone and call. So that's why I asked that question.
Yeah, no, good question. So I think two things here. One, I'm going to answer our platform and then a little bit on PPC. Okay. So on our platform, the only time you get a lead is when they complete the form, they submit it, and once they press submit, 3 seconds from when they did that, you receive the lead. Now you're talking about Google Pay per click, where you're paying per click. That doesn't mean that you're like, so for example, if you're paying per click, right, you're going to pay for it and you can reach out to them because they filled out, they were into your site, and that's somebody you can reach out to. Mm-hmm. But also too, right, with pay per click is just because your pay per click costs you say $30 a click doesn't mean that's what your cost per lead is. Because how many leads on your pay per click does it cost to turn into a lead? I'm just curious. How many clicks?
Oh, dude, it's been a while. That's why we got away from them, because it was really expensive. I mean, at the end of the day, it was costing us probably $350, $400 a lead.
Okay. So that's, I guess, the difference with us, because we do have leads that we're producing, plenty of leads we're producing that are Google pay per click, but you guys aren't paying for the clicks. You're just paying for the leads that we produce. So that's why when people look at PPL versus like meaning pay per lead versus pay per click, there's a big difference between the two, and there's positives and negatives to both. So if you're doing PPC and you're doing it in-house, you can probably control a little bit more filters with your pay per click. But also, what's your cost per lead? How many clicks does it take to actually get a lead? So you have to look at those metrics. And then the other side is with Google pay per click, there's no refund policy. So that's the other side that's like, well, which one's more valuable to me specifically? In my opinion, I think that anyone who's in real estate should never be using one marketing channel, because you're going to have seasons to different marketing channels. There's going to be times of the year where mailers work better. There's going to be times of the year where your PPL is crushing it. There's going to be times of the year where your PPC, it could be a cold calling starts to hit. So it's one of those things where you should be running multiple marketing channels so you can have metrics to see which ones are providing, and also what's your cost per deal. Like that's what we look at more than anything than cost per lead. Because if your cost per lead is $400, but every time you spend $3,000, you get a deal that makes you 12. Like, okay, it's all the metrics now. I just have to hit these KPIs for me to be successful. But you want to know which marketing channels cost what to produce opportunity. Great
point out there.
Okay. One more thing, because you do have counties in here. So to kind of explain to you guys how the county works. So the counties start at $125. That's the entry level for county leads. So for example, you see Shelby, the very bottom one. The entry level is $125, but it shows that Caesar is actually the top bidder. That means at this point of the month, there is nobody else buying leads in Shelby other than you guys. So every lead that is produced in Shelby will go to you guys and you guys only. Now, if you look one above, it says 125 on Allen, and it says no. What that means is you are not the top bidder right now. To see what the top bidder is, you could simply click the plus button until it says yes, and then you'll know where the current bid is now. So 200 a lead right now, so 225 makes you the top bidder only. But if you drop it down one, $200, that's who's getting leads right now. So we show you the live bidding system now. So if you tied Caesar and you kept it at $200, now you're in a round robin system where you get a lead and then the person you're tied with gets a lead every other. And you guys go back and forth until someone hits their budget. So you just have three options. Top bidder, you get them all. Tie with the current top bidder, or you bid lower, anywhere between 125 and in between 200. And you're just reserving your spot in line. You'll get leads when the people ahead of you hit their budget. And then once you're up to get leads, they continue to go to you until you hit your budget.
Got it. Okay. That's a great call out. That I did not know.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful.
It's there so you don't ever overpay for leads. So it's good to like check. Like some people have a system where like, say they have like administrators who are like, their job is to just process refunds, or their job is to check the bid prices to make sure that you're not overpaying for leads. And if you're doing it manually yourself, that's fine, but it's good to check a couple times a week just to make sure you're not overbidding, or you can know when you're going to start getting leads based off of where the bids are today.
Dude, I'm so glad you're on here, Steve. I'm dead serious, guys. Like, this is as much for me as much as it is for you guys. Because I was just telling Steve right before we hopped on, I'm like, that's one of the reasons why I haven't used property leads as much, is because the bidding system is so confusing for me, right? But now you showed me that it's actually pretty simple. So
no, listen, if you don't spend enough time with it, right? That's why with these onboard calls that I have with people, they're typically 30 minutes long. I learn about your business. Once I find out what your goals are, where you are today, where you're going, how big your team is, how many deals you're looking to do a year, how much you're doing now, we can kind of figure out how to reverse engineer a plan so you can be successful when you do start. You want to show them how to like integrate a CRM real quick?
That is a very good call. How do you do it? Because I haven't done it with property leads.
All right. So right above California, that top statewide, right in the middle there, it says, it says add webhook update phone and email.
Perfect.
All right. So when you guys get a lead, this is your delivery methods. So what that means is when we're going to send you the web form of when it's filled out, you get to save up to 5 emails and 5 phone numbers. So if it's just you and you're a solopreneur, then you would just have your email and your address. But if you have team members, you can add up to 5 and 5. So in other words, when a lead comes in, it can go to like 10 people or 10 contacts at the same time. And then webhook, which is how you integrate your CRM. There's a little video link there that when you want to, it shows you how to extract your webhook. So now, just so you guys know, I'm not a tech wizard, but I can at least tell you this. A webhook is not your CRM. A webhook is the software that communicates from our platform to your CRM. And a company that's a webhook company would be, if you've ever heard of it before, there's many, but Zapier or Zapier, nobody's ever told me the same pronunciation, but that's like a version. You would get a Zapier account, let's say, I think it's like 40 a month or something like that. And when a lead comes in, outside of you being texted and emailed the leads, they also drop into your workflow. So if you want to call directly from your CRM that records calls and you can stay organized with your leads, you can do that. And then also, if they don't answer the phone for some reason, you can put them into your drip campaign. So over the next 7 days, you can do automated texts and emails, and you can do that all integrated through this software.
Absolutely. Yep, that's exactly who we use, Zapier.
Cool. That's good. There's other companies too, but Zapier is by far the most used.
Yep.
Okay. What Caesar? What CRM do you use?
I use Cycle Sales, which is white labeled Go High Level.
I use Go High Level. It is an incredible product. It does so much. It's crazy.
It does. And you know what? It hasn't crashed. We have over 1,000 leads in there. We're doing campaign drips all the time. It hasn't crashed at all. Although we can't send a text message using the word sell for some reason. And so I just found a way around it. It's so funny because I just go SE capital I
Yeah.
instead of LL, you know?
Yeah. It's the, what are they? It's a T2P. What do they call that?
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, they want to make sure you're not using scammy words or spammy words. So like they want you to obviously always play around with that. I will be honest, I'll give you kind of some insights for your viewers. Just from being in real estate and seeing all the different messaging people that use, and then being with property leads, where our people who write our drip campaigns for, like, let's say, and we'll get to refund policy in a second, but let's say you guys can't get in touch with somebody, right? And that's one of the reasons why we give refunds. So for example, you guys get a lead from us and it's a 7-day policy to ask for a refund. You just have to go 4 days of trying to contact them at least 12 times. We always suggest text, calls, and emails. Realistically, call is the best thing in the world, but like there's like a 65% better chance that people answer text. So we always say triple dial them. If they don't answer, immediately text them and email them, and do that a couple times a day for 4 days. So now if somebody doesn't answer for 4 days and you've done that, you can ask us for a refund. And then our refund team actually goes into a 7-day follow-up with that lead, trying to get confirmation from them that it's for sale. So if they never answer us, we refund that money back to your account balance. You use it on more leads. If we do get in touch with them and they do say it's for sale, we bounce it back to you. And we decline the refund, but we tell you to give them a call. We give you any notes that could be helpful when you follow back up. But what I was kind of getting at too with the language is what I've noticed in real estate is the person who sounds really professional through their text messages, it like bores people and they don't answer.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be creative. You're going to play around with stuff that sees, like, because you have to think, even though these are inbound leads, right? There's products like PropStream and PropWire where people just fall in to these lists that people curate and they get cold called, and even if they're not like on the market or they haven't said anything yet. So you get messages from like a bunch of people and it says, hey, it's Steve from Professional Home Solutions. Just wondering if you were looking to sell your house. Like people just look at it and they never answer. But if you say something silly or something that's engaging, now it's going to catch somebody's eye. And I think that's a big piece in real estate, is being different than your peers around you. Because the majority of people in real estate, they're just, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to be biased, but I don't think a lot of people are trying hard enough. Real estate's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. That's why you can get paid as much as a doctor gets paid.
Yep.
Or more.
Just curious, by the way, would you happen to have like a creative text that you can send to a seller?
I do. And this is going to sound absolutely ridiculous, but this one works for us. What we'll say to people is, after we've triple dialed and texted them and called them, what we do too is, like, we'll send the initial text out after we've triple dialed them, and it'll just say, hey, it's Caesar. You just filled out a form on our site. Just seeing if you were looking, if you were available for a call now to make you an offer. They don't answer that. 15 minutes later, they're going to get a question mark. They don't get any. We don't hear anything in 15 minutes. 30 minutes later, they get 2 question marks. We're trying to create urgency. Now, in an hour from them, if they don't answer that, we'll say something like, hey, Caesar, have you been abducted by aliens? Blink twice if you're in need of help. Also, you filled out a form on the site, was ready to make you an offer. Are you still available now? And we'll do iterations of that for the next like 4 days. Hey, Caesar, have you come down from the mothership yet to have a call with me? Like, these kind of things make people laugh and it engages.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's different, right? And it really does work. So you want to play around with language when it comes to that stuff, because people, how many times you get a text message that looks like it's from some business that you want anything to do with?
Yep.
You just send them to the abyss. You never talk to them again.
Absolutely. No, I love that. That's great. Man, if you have any more of those, if you can send that over, I'd greatly appreciate it, because that was hella funny.
I'll send you our drip campaign through email after this.
That was really good. I mean, I usually use the should I stay or should I go text message. One of the text messages that I send that gets the most amount of response is saying, hey, we just sold another property, or we just bought another property. by the way, we give out a referral fee. So if you know anyone that's looking to sell and we close on that, we'll give you $1,000. Do you know anyone looking to sell their property? Some short, right? Dude, I get a lot of response that way. Hey, what about me? I'm still looking to sell. Oh, okay. I just sent you 30 text messages. You never answered, and now you're telling me you're still looking to sell. So that's one of those things where it's like usually my 15th or 20th text message that I send out.
Real estate is all referral based. I have it on my computer, and this is for just me talking to people. And it says, ask for referrals after sale. And marketing in general costs money, right? Guys. So, if you can go ahead and extradite having to pay to create leads to sell them to people, or the same thing with buying homes, right? You just come off of a high of buying someone's house, closing, they make a bunch of money. Like, that's the perfect time for referral videos for your business. It's the perfect time to see if they have any family members that are in need that could really benefit from something like this. You got to strike when the iron's hot, and creating opportunities when they're right in front of you. Sometimes we just forget about it, but like, there's a good chance, like, when people are usually an average of the 5 people that they hang out around. So there's a good chance that person that you do a deal with, if they're in some kind of financial struggle, they could know somebody in a financial struggle that needs help. So, and that's what it's all about in real estate, is solving problems and being able to be in the right place at the right time and help the right people.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get this back on. I didn't know if you wanted to show anything else
Sure.
in the platform.
Just the refund stuff, how to ask for a refund, and then we can go over those 12 reasons. So the My Leads button on that top left column there.
Yep.
All right. And then you're going to click on the Request Refund button, which is under Transactions on the left there. All right. So the first piece, there's 2 different refund policies, guys. One of them, I'll read you the 12 reasons why we give refunds. This specific one, the excellency policy, is referring to how it works. So you don't get penalized for asking for refunds. I know there's some companies out there that you have a refund percentage that once you start getting high up and asking for too many refunds, it affects your lead flow. It'll start prioritizing people in the system and sending leads to them first, just because they've asked for less refunds. Now, we have a decline refund percentage. So if you ask for 100 refunds and you get 100 approved, you don't get any kind of impact at all. But the reason why this is in place with a decline refund percentage is to make sure people are abiding by the refund policy. So what happens is over time, you end up accumulating what's called a decline refund percentage. So here's what that would mean. Caesar, let's say you bought 50 leads from us, and 5 of those leads that you bought were declined refunds. That would give you a 10% decline refund percentage. So what happens is when you're buying leads from us, and let's say you're tied at 200 with somebody, the system's going to figure out who they're going to send that lead to. Well, how they're going to figure out who they're going to send the lead to is the one with the lower decline refund percentage. So it's in place just to make sure people are following the rules. But we're not penalizing you just for asking for refunds. It's just to make sure that over time you're asking for refunds within those 12 and not just like picking reasons why, because you couldn't close the deal, that kind of stuff. That sounds very harsh, but I'm just being honest of how that works. You can actually X this off here.
Yeah, and also I just want to say, I mean, you guys are pretty good at refunding. I know I asked for a couple, maybe 2 to 4 a while back. It might not be on my account, it might be on the other account.
Yeah.
But you guys were pretty good at it. And I just want to piggyback on what you said. At the end of the day, the refund is, I believe there's 12 reasons why you can ask for a refund, right? Or however many they are. Just make sure it's one of them, guys. I mean, if you can't close, you can't close. Like, don't ask for a refund on that. I guess I get a pretty good success rate on refunds because I'm always including a screenshot or whatever it is where there's proof like, hey, I've reached out to this guy. I've sent out over, 20 between text messages, calls, and emails, can't get a hold of them. You know what I mean? And so I've never had any problem getting any type of refunds.
I love it. Yeah, listen, the refund policy is there for a reason. We know with inbound leads that the lead buyers who buy leads from us are susceptible of people doing stupid stuff, right? When I say stupid stuff, it's going to be, actually, if you want to click on that reason box, we'll go over those 12 reasons, and it'll kind of segue. You see right across from Dennis King, it says select reason on the right of it.
Where is it?
Reason under
select reason. Yep.
All right. So for example, here's what happens. People have a realtor. Realtor's not doing a great job. They're not happy with their realtor. So they go fill out a form on a website because they want to see if they can drum up an offer and go behind the back of their realtor. People do that all the time because maybe they're in panic. They need to sell and it's not selling, whatever the reason is. So when that happens, we give refunds for anything that's on the market. Everything should be off market. So if you have, let's say, a realtor, meaning the property is already on the market with the realtor or on the market for sale by owner at the time you receive the lead, we're going to give you a refund for that. So that's why I was mentioning that. Like, it's not your fault that someone filled out a form and they're not, now they're on the market, but we give refunds for that if that does happen. Caesar, are you clicked on that select a reason where it shows you the 12, or I'm just not seeing it on my side?
Oh, yeah, I am clicking on it. Is it not showing? It might not be showing because it's a drop down.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll
Yeah.
just tell you guys the reasons. When you click on that, those 12 reasons pop up. Another reason would be outside area. So let's say you're buying leads in 3 counties. If you get a lead outside of those counties, we're going to give you a refund. Fake or spam lead. All right. Fake or spam lead. They don't own the house. They're not on title and they filled out a form. So an example of that would be an angry neighbor that wants you to move that filled out a form to be a jerk. An angry ex-spouse. It could be, it could be a family member that's putting a house on the market trying to sell it from under their mother or whatever it is. We'll give you refunds for that. We're going to give you refunds as well for disconnected phones and emails, incorrect phones and emails. We'll give you a refund for that. If it's vacant land, if it's a commercial property, of course, if you like commercial properties and vacant land, keep them, but we give refunds for those if you want them. If it's a mobile home on rented land, so you can only buy the mobile home because the park owns the land, we give you a refund for that. We'll give you refunds if they tell you it's not for sale when you talk to them. They say, hey, Caesar, I apologize. We changed our mind. We're not looking to sell our house anymore. We're going to keep it. Or they say, hey, we're just wanting an appraisal. We're not actually selling the house. We're just looking to know what our house is worth. We'll give you a refund for that. If the seller claims they never submitted a form, this happens because someone filled out a form and put their information. So it's kind of a gray area with fake or spam lead, but they're finding out when you call them that this actually, somebody did that on the web form. We give refunds as well for duplicate leads. Duplicate lead would be the same lead in like a 60-day period of each other. So we give refunds for all those things. So you're mainly just working leads that you're able to either, potentially close now or work on with them over the next, 1 to 3, 4 months, depending on where their motivation threshold is today.
Got it. No, that's great.
Yep. Any questions, Caesar, or anybody? I don't know if does your followers have an ability to comment?
Yeah. So Jermaine actually has one question, but it's a little bit off topic. So I was going to wait till later, but if you want to answer it now, I'm going to put it on the screen. Saying, why did Steve switch to working with property leads? How would he recommend learning creative? Asking in advance.
Yeah. So this is a simple answer. It was a financial move for me. I loved what I did. Coaching is like one of my passions. I absolutely loved it. It was one of my favorite things I've ever done in any job. It was just a financial move. I was offered more money and I took it. When it came to how would you recommend learning creative? You got to be around people that are doing creative deals. People like Pace Morby. We provide the leads for the sub 2 group. There's a guy, there's a lot of different versions of created, right? There's sub 2, owner financing, lease options. I don't know how much your group kind of talks about novations, but novations are really great. There's a guy named Richard Wonders. If you've ever heard that name, he goes by the Novation King. He buys from us. That dude is amazing. So if you guys are ever trying to figure out, like if you have like a property that maybe you have it under as a wholesale and you guys just can't move it, he'll go ahead and you can partner with him and he can try to convert it to a novation and partner on the deal and sell with you. So it's just finding the right people in the right place. I think the sub 2 group's a good place to start.
Absolutely. And just go to like free meetups. That's how I did it.
100%. And make sure, like Pace always says, hut up or shut up. Make sure the people who are teaching you have proof that they're doing deals, because anybody can say that.
100%.
For sure. Let's see here. I don't think is there anything else here I could show you guys. And
You know
then,
what? You know
yeah,
what I want to do real fast is show how you can add territories.
please. All right. So Caesar just hit the add territories button. So you can do those three options, like I was saying, national, statewide, or counties. So let's just say Caesar wanted to do some more counties. So he'll click on the state button on the right, pick whatever state you want, Caesar. And then all the counties in California pop up. So he'll highlight the boxes next to all the counties that he wants to get leads in. And then simply enough, once he adds them, this is, by the way, these prices that you're seeing were the prices at the beginning of the month. So when you add those into your account, you'll go ahead and, like I was showing you earlier, you'll lower it until the first time it see it say no to make sure you're not overpaying. So like you can start at the 551 and hit it until you can see it's obviously not selling for 550 right now. So you just want to double check what the price per lead is, say in San Diego currently at 325, someone's getting leads there now. So that's where the leads are currently. That's the live bid price.
Dude, that is super awesome. See, that's something I didn't know. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, now I got to pay 525 for it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we did this because now I know, no, it's only $300 actually.
We're also working on this right now. We have a what would you say, a ticket in right now to fix this so that only the live price comes up now.
Oh, nice.
That's being fixed as well. So that probably something we'll see in the next month.
So in that way, when you add it on, it should all say no. And then as soon as you click one,
it'll either say all say no and it'll be one under, or it'll all say yes. Then you'll just back it off one to see who the top bidder is now.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. And then I would say the last thing here, just to show you guys when you're ready to onboard, and obviously I'd love to be able to send a link over to you so people can always set up accounts and I can onboard them if they're interested in the future. If you hit the button that says payment and budget on the left side there. So once you get to this point, you save your card on file. Once you save your card on file, if you scroll down a little bit, Caesar, you'll see monthly budget. So you get to choose your monthly budget. So when you hit whatever, say 750, you spent 750 for the month, your account automatically pauses. On our platform, it's a minimum of $500, but you can go up as high as you want after that. That's up to you. So you just set it so you don't overspend your budget. And then all you got to do is pay for your first 2 leads up front in your highest bid county. And then that's the minimum. And then you can go from there. Then you're onboarded. Some people pay for their whole budgets up front and they just want to work off a prepaid balance. That's entirely up to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve, question for you.
Please.
So I do have an affiliated link, right? Which if one of the viewers decide to use my link, they get $250 worth of leads, or at least 250 in their balance, account balance. If they were to do that, does that go to you or does it go to other folks? How does that work?
Yeah. So this is going to be anybody who signs up with property leads, right? Let's say they go through Caesar here. So Caesar gives you his link and you want to sign up for property leads. So you use his link, you click on it and you start the sign up process through his link. And when you sign up and you fund your account, both you and Caesar will get $250 to use on leads. And then the same thing now, when you're a lead buyer and you have, say, friends that are like, hey, what are you using right now that you're having luck with? And they say, oh, I'm using property leads. Now you give them your code. That's everybody has their own individual code. So you guys can use that referral link as many times as you want. And that will be able to give you $250 as every time you do that to use on leads.
Perfect. And guys, I will have my link in the description below. So if any of you guys want to try out property leads, you get an extra $250 for it. Obviously I do as well, so that would help. That being said, I know, Steve, you mentioned you only have to like 12:45 on here, so I don't want to take too much of your time. Can we get into what you guys have set up in place to stay compliant after the 27th of January?
Yeah. So I'll kind of give you guys an idea now of how it's working. So when you guys receive a lead from us, the way that it works now is the person who fills out the form has to opt in to text messages, phone calls, and emails before they submit the form. That was the 2024 and before, is that was that opt-in. Now, and this is only going to impact the lead buyers positively, which is nice. So in 2025, based off of the systems that we had to put in place, like any other company, to comply, when they fill out that form and they opt into text, phone calls, and emails, once they submit the form, the person who is in line to get the lead, let's say you, Cesar, it's then going to say your name, your number, and your company, and they have to opt into you as an individual. So once they do that, then you get the lead. If they don't opt into you, you're not going to get the lead. The lead's never produced. But from what we see, if they're opting into an individual, the connectivity rate is going to go up substantially.
100%. Yep. Because now they see your name, they see your phone number. By the time you text and call, they're like, oh yeah, that's the person that bought, not bought my lead, but that's the one who's supposed to call me. So I definitely see that. Okay. So that's a pretty simple thing for you guys. It's just just one added step, right?
Well, it sounds simple when you explain it, but if I got the marketing guy on here and he heard you say simple, he'd probably be like, you have no idea. I've been doing this for 3 months, because every single time somebody creates a form, like there's like 25,000 leads we produce a month. So they had to figure something out where they had to like create a whole new system on the engineering side of like creating this marketing piece, where the system has to find who the person in line that's going to get the lead in an instant, pop them up once they hit the button, and make sure everything's flowing properly. So it's just one of those things where they figured it out, and they did it over the last 3 months. But if we did an interview with him, I have a feeling he'd probably say, you have no idea, Cesar, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Steve, one last question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, man.
Because I know one of the, I don't know if I'd say number one complaint, but one of the number one things that I hear from other folks, and even I felt it as well, is that when I would do a statewide or nationwide, it gets very rural, right? Now, if you have a platform like Investor Lift or other platforms where you have access to millions of buyers, perhaps it doesn't matter as much. But if you're new and you don't have access to buyers, it can get pretty rural. So what do you say, what should we do to make sure that we don't get, those type of leads where it's so rural that we won't be able to move them?
Yeah. So I would say if you're a newer investor, you're just getting into real estate and you want to do PPL, I think that statewide and national may be more challenging for you, because like you said, it's not necessarily getting them under contract. Motivated leads are motivated leads. It's if you don't have a national buyers list or a statewide buyers list, it's going to be more difficult to disposition, because the way that it works is you're going to get, say you're doing national or statewide leads, you're getting leads in all of the counties that we don't have people buying leads in first. That's how you get those first, because the county bidders are prioritize getting the leads in those big counties. And for you to get a statewide lead and say, I'm just making something up, Nevada would be Clark County, statewide or national, that means, say there's 9 buyers buying leads in Clark at the county level, they all have to have hit their budget. A lead comes in, no one at the county level can buy it, and then it converts to a statewide lead. And we see that happen more towards the end of the month, because people typically hit their budgets at the county level around the 18th to 21st of the month. So some people, and this is all strategy stuff, is they'll still do national and statewide, but they won't turn their accounts on until the end of the month, because the quality they feel could be shifted in better areas. And then also the other piece is a lot of people pause their accounts on nights and weekends. So the system's going to find somebody to sell the lead to. So what I've heard from lead buyers is on nights and weekends, they seem to get more populated MSA areas on nights and weekends, because someone's going to buy the lead. So if you're set up in a way where you can take a call at 9 o'clock or whatever it is, or just set it up where you call them in the morning and like drip them with a text that says, we'll call you at 8 a.m. That's, some people do that as well. It's like, oh, wait, strategy pieces you can do with this.
Yeah, that's great. And I just added that on the comment below, guys. So you guys can remember, end of the month, that's when you can turn it on, nights and weekends. I know JW from Titanium, he does nights and weekends. And he says he gets good amount of leads for like the minimum amount of bid for that particular state or county. But I didn't know about that end of the month, which makes sense. So that's a good way for you to be able to get good leads for for a lower price.
For sure. I love it. Let me ask you, Caesar, if it's okay with you. I have my link for a booking if anybody ever wants
Oh,
to
please.
potentially sign. Can I put that in the chat?
Absolutely.
All right. Where is that going to populate? I have it there now. I didn't send it yet. Is it just going to go to the comments?
You might have put it in the private chat. You need to put it on the comments.
All right. So if I click on comments, join
Yep.
chat. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me see. Connect. Let me see what happens when I just send. I'm not sure how to necessarily do this, but let's see what. So private chat, was that just sent to you, Caesar?
Yeah.
Can you copy that and put it in the chat?
Yep. That's what I'll do right now.
Thanks, man. So yeah, I mean, any questions that you guys have? What we just basically did was like kind of like a blanketed, like kind of like a scheduled call where we just would spend 30 minutes learning about your business and getting you set up. If it's not a fit, guys, I'd be the first one to tell you. Obviously, my job is to sell you leads, but also this isn't a cash grab. So if I feel that you're maybe not ready for this yet, or the budget, it would be better used after you have at least 4 months of this to be successful. Like this is a KPIs thing, right? So if the best buyers on our platform close like 1 out of 6 to 1 out of 10 leads to a contract, and then the average person is 1 out of 20, like the biggest mistake I see people make is they buy 3 leads, they don't do a deal, and then they jump ship. There's no world where you're buying marketing anywhere where like 3 leads is enough of a test. So just make sure you get enough leads. We like to say like between 20 and 30 leads is a great sample where you can get a deal or two within there and get a good feel for the product. But just don't waste your money and grab a couple of leads, because wherever you go, the percentage of closing your first deal is obviously very low because it's a numbers game. It just gives you the opportunity to be able to close leads to contracts in far less, because cold calling is like 75 to 100 leads to a contract, where this is like a quarter of that or less.
Yeah. So if I hear you correctly, Steve, is say I'm new, I don't have much, and I can only afford $50 a lead. So that's the nationwide, right? So 20 leads is $1,000, 30 leads is 1,500. So let's say I have 1,500. Would you say, and I'm not going to quote you on this because obviously it's all an algorithm here, but if I only have 1,500 and I want to get a higher chance of getting better leads, makes sense for me to turn it on during nights and weekends and then turn it off and then turn it. And then if I still have enough money in there, turn it back on towards the end of the month versus beginning of the month, just to give me a slightly higher chance that perhaps some of those good leads will come into my system.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good plan for you to be able to play around with the product, and also know it doesn't just turn on and just go. You guys have the opportunity to pause your accounts whenever you want. Meaning like if you don't want leads coming in nights, weekends, or you just like you have a full-time job like a lot of people and your work hours are 4 to 8 p.m., like you can just turn it on in those windows so that the leads are coming in those timelines. But yeah, I saw a question here that kind of goes along with yours, like what's the budget that fits like 3 to 4 deals a month? Our average person on our platform is probably anywhere between 1,300 a month and $5,000 a month, depending on like, where you're at now. It doesn't mean you can't be less than that. But people who are doing 3 to 4 deals a month are usually spending, if they're doing counties, they're probably spending, I don't know, between 5,000 and 8,000 a month. People who are doing statewide, similar, probably 4 to 5 grand a month, because they're getting more leads for that price. But it has to do with your ability to close, right? It's not saying like you can't do deals. Like, listen, when I first started in real estate and I sucked on the phone, I did a deal. I'm like, who the hell wants to do a deal with me? But if you're in the right place and you ran a motivated person at the right time and they got a problem, they can't hear that you're nervous. They can't hear that you're reading off a script. Like, they have no idea.
That's right. 100%. 100%. And also wanted to point out that, you call out some very good numbers. I mean, even the top guys, it will take them 10 leads to lock up one.
Yep.
And by the way, just because you locked up one doesn't mean that one gets across the finish line. Yeah. A lot of things can happen between you locking up a deal and you getting it dispoed. So that's why those numbers are pretty high up there. And so that's why yesterday, Steve, day 1 of my 12 days was all about doing things for free. It's not the sexiest, right? It's not efficient, but if you have no capital, but you have time and grit, get your teeth kicked in on the free leads, call FSBOs, right? just learn, just get the words out of your mouth, like make it your second nature, so that when you do have that $1,500, $3,000 to invest, you're better at it. Therefore, your hit rate would be higher. And then also at the same time, hopefully you'd be better at comping as well. So that way you're not overpriced.
Yeah. And I'll leave you with this, because just from coaching real estate and seeing, I've worked with people who, when I coached them, they had way more experience in real estate than I did. I've worked with people who were brand new. And the realistic side is especially if like you're within your first year or less. When I started my real estate business, I was a very high level woodworker. I'm like, I've been doing this for like 16 plus years. Real estate's going to be easy because I'm the best version of myself. The realistic side is you think Kobe Bryant was as good as he was because he just jumped in. He spent like 30, 40 years becoming this amazing person. I'm not saying that's how long it's going to take for you to be successful in real estate, but it's the same process. Practicing, right? Costs money, whatever
Yep.
you do. And you got to figure out what works for you and your budget in the beginning of your business so that you can have enough shots at the plate. You're usually utilizing your W-2 job to fund this business, because you're gonna only be spending money on your business until you turn a profit. Some people it happens quicker than others. Some people it takes more time. But the realistic side is the only way you're not going to be successful is if you give up. And there's going to be like that. I remember the first 9 months it took me 9 months to do my first deal. It was the darkest moments of my life. I'm like, I feel like I'm 17. Aoife, quiet. Sorry. I feel like I'm 17 years old at my job for the first time. I don't know what the processes are. I don't know how much time things take to start happening. I'm looking at success with a dollar sign instead of these little wins, like booking appointments, getting better at my scripts, having better conversations, less people swearing at me. Like I was just like, I'm not making money for 9 months. And it was so frustrating. But if you have the right mentality to like, you're building this business strictly to get better. And guess what? In 9 months, if you make half of your salary after you got your teeth kicked in for 9 months, seems like a pretty good trade-off to me. You just have to have the right like mindset going into it.
Yeah, dude, I'm so glad you brought that up, Steve, because I've been talking about it on my channel. I have people calling me sometimes going, dude, I haven't closed my first deal and it's been 4 months. And I go, so how many hours do you do? Like, oh, this is my side hustle. So I'm like, all right, so what are you doing? Are you like virtual? Or it's like, oh, I'm just doing my neighborhood, right? Like my city. And I go, okay, so how many hours a day do you do? It's like, well, I've got kids. I can only pretty much do the weekends, maybe an hour a day. So I was like, okay, so within a week, you're only able to do 7, 8 hours or 9 hours. And I was like, yeah, I was like, well, I'm doing 12 hours a day and I didn't close my first deal until 3.5 months later. And that's just locking it up. I didn't get paid until 5 months later or 4.5 months later, or whatever it was. And I was like, so your whole 3 months equates to 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's my 2 weeks. So 100%, man. When I first started, that's just what I told myself. Forget the dollar signs. Look at all the small wins. Like, did someone tell me to kick rocks today? Right? How many people are telling me to kick rocks? Oh, it's lesson and lesson. So that means I'm getting better, right? How many people am I getting a hold of? How many people are not hanging up on me? Like those little things is what I think everyone needs to focus on, because once you start progressing, the money will come later.
Yeah. And I think one of the most valuable lessons in like that first year of building your business is realizing how resilient you actually are. If you push through these times where you're just like, oh, I don't get it. I'm like, feel like I'm doing everything right. I'm getting better and better. There's all pieces that affect your, like, you may not have found the right marketing channel too. What I was using was just like expired, canceled withdrawals and FSBOs.
Yep.
And it was the cheapest. I was like $60 a month. It was the cheapest. And you get what you pay for. It took me because these people weren't motivated. So finding the right place, but also having enough shots. Maybe that's a good place for you guys to start. If you've never called anyone before, is playing around with like for sale by owners. They'll love to talk to you and tell you about how great they are.
Yeah.
They're not going to do a whole lot of deals with you. They're going to probably waste a lot of your time, but they're going to feel really warm until they don't answer you the next time. But it's a good place to start though. You just need shots at the plate. Give yourself some grace. This isn't supposed to be easy. The person who continues to show up ends up being successful. and don't let the timeline it takes for you to be your version of successful beat you down. Everybody's is different. Don't compare yourself to anybody. That is literally the biggest killer of dreams. Don't do that.
Thank you, Steve. That was great, man. I really, really appreciate your time. And I know you definitely dropped some nuggets here. Bro, I've been getting text messages. Everyone's asking me, can you please get that drip campaign from Steve?
Yes.
Can you send me some pretty cool, funny text messages
Yes.
that I can put on a Google Drive so for people to be able to grab? That would be great. Unless you already have it on Google Drive and you don't mind sharing it, that would be awesome too.
I'm going to email it to you right now so you have it, and then you can share it with your group.
All right, wonderful. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the description below. By the way, don't leave yet, guys. I'm still going to make some calls. I'm going to go live today. I'm going to call that property lead that came in yesterday. I scheduled a call with them right now. And then also I have another property lead, which I closed about a month and a half ago. One of the hairiest deal I've ever closed in my life out of North Carolina. She was selling her dad's house that she inherited. It was such a tough deal, but we got it through. And so she just texted me this morning saying, hey, you sold my dad's house. I'm ready to sell mine. Would you like to do business with me again? I was like, heck yeah. Why not? You know?
Wonderful. Well, that's just a perfect example, right? Of everybody has different pain thresholds. Your job is to continue to be there so that they remember you more than anybody. It's something like I remember the sales stat that I saw years ago that was absolutely amazing. And what it said was it had a chart of like how many touch points equal like sales, and 8 to 15 touch points do 80% of the deals. So like it gives you like a good idea. Follow up is literally everything. And you being like that guiding light and be the consistent piece in her life as she's going through this and building more pain as other people are frustrating her is the difference of you doing deals.
Yep. Absolutely.
By
the way, that was because it's like BFE North Carolina, I'm assuming that was a $50 lead. Definitely not 75 because I don't do business in North Carolina. So nationwide, $50. We ended up getting a $12,000 fee on that.
That's good math.
That's a very good math. And if we get lucky with the new one, obviously that will be more than 12 grand.
I love it. That's awesome, man.
Steve, I'm going to go live right now. I know you've obviously got your own business that you got to run. Feel free to hop off if you want to stay on, put yourself on mute, whatever is best for you, man. I really appreciate your time. Don't feel obligated to stay. And then for everyone else, I'm actually going to link the video that I just posted this morning, which was the call that I did last night, which was from a property lead that I got yesterday afternoon and closed it within a few hours of getting the lead.
My man. Listen, thank you so much for the opportunity. Everybody in the chat, nice meeting you guys. I just emailed you over the drip campaign. Copy and paste it into wherever you want to put it. If you guys need anything, reach out. Caesar, you need anything, reach out. Again, thank you so much for this platform, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks, Steve.
Take care, brother.
All right. Have a good one.
Later, bro.
Cool. All right. So in Sosha, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. If I mispronounced it, I apologize. I know you put on a few things on here. Said you never got always seem everything you've gotten seemed to be by accident, no system. I don't know who you're following. I know one thing is that a lot of times there's so much information out there. So you just got to find the way that works for you. I always say there's no right way, there's no wrong way. Got to find the way that works for you. Don't give up, especially if you're saying you found things by accident. So I'm assuming you've closed a deal or two. And this is what this whole channel is about. If I can help one person literally stay and make one more phone call, if they can just hang in there for one more day, one more week, one more month until they reach that success, for me, I would have achieved my goal, because that is really the main goal of this channel. I've had people reach out to me going, hey, like you can have more views, blah, blah, blah. And my response to them is, bro, I'm a wholesaler first, providing a platform for people to hop on, be part of my live call so we can get immediate feedback, ask questions, and really just create that synergy so that you know you're not alone. That's the whole thing about the the channel, right? I'm not a YouTuber doing wholesaling. I'm a wholesaler providing a platform because I've been in sales for many, many years. And anytime and every time I'm in a room in a lion's den with other salespeople and I hear them ping up the phone calling, man, my phone starts to get a little bit lighter, and then all of a sudden you hear a key nugget that someone said and you're like, oh my gosh, someone told me that the other day. I said pretty much the same thing, but the way he or she delivered that is completely different from the way I delivered it. And so those little things happen, and that's what creates success. Activity breeds results. And so my platform is here to have those activity, to hold you accountable. So feel free to hop on anytime in Sonsha. And yeah, and get some immediate feedback. Where do you find real buyers? That's a great question. There's certain ways of going about it. If you weren't here yesterday, we talked about on some of the free ways that you can do it. One, going up to meetups, looking for real buyers. Obviously, you can join Facebook groups, but there's also a lot of not so savory people out there. So you got to do your vetting process. Another way of going about it is literally on Zillow, Zillowhomes.com. If you have comping tools like PropStream or Privy, what you do is you look for houses that literally for sale that looks like it was just fully renovated. If it's fully renovated, it's most likely 9 out of 10, it's a flipper that flipped that house. All you have to do is pick up the call, and if it's for sale by owner, you're going to get a hold of that flipper. Or if it's listed by an agent, call the agent, right? And just have a conversation with him or her. So that's one way of going about it as far as for free. Do you guys have any other questions? Was this good? If you guys found this to be valuable, drop a 1 in the comments here or on the chat. That would be great. And then I'm going to go ahead and make a call. Let's see what I can do here. Let's call Mr. Dennis. Told this guy last night or this morning that I would be calling him.
The subscriber you are trying to reach is not available. Please. The subscriber you are trying to reach is not available. Please leave your message after the tone.
Hey, Dennis, it's Caesar. Hope all is well. When you get a chance, give me a call back. You can call me at this number. I'll go ahead and shoot you a text just to see if you have a sec now, okay? Thanks. Bye-bye. All right, so let me just send this guy a quick text. Should be good to go. Oh, I think he's calling. Yes, he is. Hey, Dennis. Hello? Dennis, can you hear me?
Oh, this is it.
Hey, Dennis, it's Caesar. How are you?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little better.
Feeling a little better? Yeah, I saw your text, man.
Yeah.
You got a good night rest last night?
Yeah, pretty good.
Good.
Pretty busy day, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Trying to catch up on
Nice. Okay. Well, hopefully everything is going well as planned. I will definitely send you some good healing vibes for a speedy recovery. That being said, so looks like you're looking to sell this property on Combe Street, yes?
Yeah. I can't keep my place.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Yeah, I can't keep my place, and that one needs work. So.
Oh, got it.
Stay here in the farm they get.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Well, let me ask you. I mean, how much are you looking to get for it?
I want to get about 4,000. I need. I'll break even on it. I bought it on tax. It was going up tax. And we're gonna redo it. I got pretty good start. I got it all replumbed with pipe and wire, but it still needs work.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure I heard you correctly because you're cutting in and out. Did you say you're looking to get $4,000 out of it?
Yeah, that's all.
All right, 4,000. That sounds about right. So can you tell me a little bit what you got going on over there as far as the property goes?
I think I got some pictures of you. See if I can send them.
Yeah, if you can send them over, that would be great. That would help me out. See, is it a full gut right now, or what type of rehab are we looking at?
No, it's not total. It's just some drywall will have to be replaced. Some work on the roof, carport. It's not that bad. I mean, windows.
Yeah.
I got the windows all in the back.
And Dennis, let me ask you, because I'm looking online and it's not showing. How many bedroom and bathroom does this have?
3 bedroom and it's got 2 baths, but I got 4 out of 1. It's just a half bath, shower, and in the back bedroom. It opens up onto the patio. It's got a pretty nice yard too.
Got it. So it's a 3-1, and then and this was built in 1950. What was that?
Excuse me?
No, I was saying this was. I'm looking. I'm sorry, Dennis. What was that?
It's a bath and a half.
Oh, bath and a half. Yes.
Living room.
Yep.
Kitchen, dining room.
I gotcha. And this is what's the square? What's the square footage of the house?
I think. I don't know, man. I'm not quite a half acre.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I always just like to ask because sometimes it's incorrect online. Are you currently living there right now, or is it vacant?
Well, I did still have problems, and I moved over here because it's cheaper here where I'm at the government housing and stuff. And when I got on the Medicaid and stuff, it's far cheap. So I can, I can retire. And I'm a strong little chick and try to get by now, man.
Got it. Okay. And then are you fully moved out of there? Like, do you still need to move things out? Like, how's the situation?
They still jump out in there, and I got 4 lawnmowers over there around the board, and bulk trailers and some stuff. But I can get it out of there. It's not a problem.
Got it. Okay. And then just curious, I mean, how's the roof, the foundation, the HVAC? Like, what are the big ticket items?
Well, it's got one place in the roof where Liam cut some trees that you're looking at it. It's got one of them come down right there over the kitchen. Hit it and put a hole in it.
So there's a hole in it.
It's a little piece of big place. I don't lay it. Sheet plywood. 10 roofs on high. Shields on high. I'm gonna go back to all 10.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, let me just run some numbers real fast, Dennis. What was that?
Used to be a bed and breakfast at one time years ago.
It was okay.
Yeah. I got much in it, just in plumbing and stuff. You know, it's got all these flex pipes, all these sewer lines, and everything. I got it in my hand and run it all.
Yeah. I mean, well, let me ask you this, because I do buy in that area. And by the way, I'm out of Austin, and so what we can do here is I can close within 14 days, or like with the holidays coming around the corner. I know title companies tend to be really slow, so if we can close on this at the end of the month or first week of January, so that way, you can enjoy your holiday, and then you can move all your stuff. I'll buy the property as is, so you don't have to fix anything. Pretty much, you take what you want to take, leave behind what you don't want, right?
Clean it up, man.
All right. I mean, I can send you an agreement for $4,000 for this. That's totally fine with me.
Yeah. It's a good deal. It's fair. I'm not making a dime of it. And I mean, it's fair. I can't pay the tax on it, and I owe about $500 tax on it now. So y'all pay me, I'll pay the tax.
Okay. Yeah. So what happens is that on closing date, right, we'll wire the money to the title company, and the title company will just, if there's $500 goes to your taxes, and then $3,500 goes to you for the remainder of the proceeds.
Fine. Works great for me. I got the title where I'm ordered on the taxes, and I got all the taxes.
Okay. Dennis, what is the best email address for you? Just hang on for maybe you have maybe 2 more minutes. I will go ahead and draft up this agreement. I can send it over to you, so I can go over it with you very quickly.
Okay.
I usually like to talk a lot, but I also know you just got out of a surgery, so let me just draft this up. I'll stay quiet. If you need any questions or anything you want to chat about, feel free to holler at me. I just want to be respectful, because I know you just got out of surgery.
Well, I'm good. I'm starting to tell me technically well. I'm just rushing it. I've done too much the other day.
Got it.
Cut the grass, cut my place, this woman, done too much.
Yeah, absolutely. And then question for you, as far as you cleaning out, getting all the rest of your stuff out of there, is this something that you can do in the next couple of weeks, or is this something where you want to do after the holidays?
No, when we get started, we'll get it and be done with these guys.
Okay, so we can get this done ASAP. Gotcha. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put a let's see, when is the 31st? Oh, that's perfect. 31st is a, what was that?
Two washer dryers over here, they shift two over there. I'm gonna leave them too. And just in the stove, refrigerator shift. I'm taking 30. March. I think people have been going in. Well, they've got chainsaws and weed eaters and stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, Dennis, quick question for you. While I'm filling this out, Is there any way you can send me the pictures while I'm filling this out? Can you text it to me?
Might have been my phone, but let me see.
Yeah, if you can do it. If you can't, that's no problem. I don't necessarily need it, but
Today or tomorrow, I'll go over and make some more.
yeah. And then also, by the way, because just to let you know, within those 14 days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open title, make sure the title is clean. And then I'm also going to send a couple of my guys. These are contractors, then also local investors that I always partner up with whenever I buy properties out there. Pretty much all I'm doing is I'm going to send some guys out there to confirm the condition of the property, make sure we're good to go. Assuming everything you tell me is exactly what it is, then we should have no problem. We should be able to close on this before. What was that?
It needs work, but I mean, you know, I lived in it.
Yeah. How long ago did you? When did you leave? How long has it been vacant for?
I've been out back this summer. It's been several months, 4 months or so.
Gotcha. And then, and by the way, question for you. So that's where I was getting at, Dennis. Is it open? Is it accessible, or do we need to put a? Can you put a lockbox on there? How would that work as far as access goes?
Yeah, the doors are closed up, but I mean, you go in the back door open.
Back door's open.
Yeah, go to the carport on the patio, and there's a little high-home patio back there. There's a door that goes in the back.
Okay.
You know.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I just need to know, so that way when I send my guys out there, because you know some of these guys will call me the day of and they're like, Caesar, I'm down the street. I'm 2 blocks away. Can I go see it now? And so I just want to make sure I don't bother you. You know what I mean? When we do send my guys out there, just to let you know, we will let you know, so at least you're aware that someone's going there. You know what I mean? I want to be respectful of your place.
Yeah, but anyway.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on there. Back door's open. I'm gonna go ahead and send it right now. Can you open your email?
Yeah, see if I can get over to it. Email.
Yep. So if you open that, and then it should say review document. So if you click on it, it will open the document. Let me know once you have it open.
Okay. I'm with this thing. I agree to electronic records and signature of that. Yeah. Continue. Okay, I'm in there.
All right, perfect. So it should have your name on there. That is the name of my company, Allied Advantage Property Group. And then the subject property, that's the address. Just want to make sure that it's correct.
Right. Well, Texas. Yeah.
Yep. Legal description, I got that from the county, so I just copied and pasted it.
Yeah. And
then we're paying cash. And then we're also paying all the closing costs. Okay, so that 4,000 is all net to you. The only thing that will be taken off of it would be any prorated or back taxes. Also any prorated utilities, just in case you have. Do you still have the water and electricity on, or you turned it off?
No, it's off.
Okay, got it. And then today's date is 12/10. Closing date, I put 12/27. So in that way, we can get some money in your pocket before the year ends.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Title company, I use my title company of Texas. They're out of San Antonio, but they do business all across statewide. Wonderful, wonderful. And then everything else pretty self-explanatory. Inspections, all it's saying is that I'm going to send my guys out there to inspect, make sure that the condition is the way that we say it is. Renegotiation based on condition. I mean, I don't think we're going to need to renegotiate. I mean, that's a pretty good price. But just in case we go over there and then all of a sudden it's burnt down, then obviously it's a different story, right? So we just want to make sure it's the same condition as today. And then everything else is exactly what any other contract says. We're just going to go ahead and close on it on the date that we discuss. We make sure that, you know, any prorated taxes will come off the proceeds. If there's any judgment, obviously we're going to have to take care of that before we close.
I was last flighted in February, and it's been ongoing from February to now, and I just had the surgery 3.5 weeks ago, Thursday before weeks, and you know, it's just been a deal I got behind on. So I'll go by tomorrow, but I'm going by and pay them. I'll give you a check every month. I've been paying them, trying to pay them up. So
Wonderful. Perfect. And then one last thing I want to explain to you, Dennis, on the contract. It's on the last page, the very top. It says assignable contract. So I always just want to explain this to folks. Like I mentioned earlier, I always partner with people every time I buy property outside of my market. And the only reason why I do that is because I want to make sure I have a set of eyes on my project. It's just a good way for me to protect my investment. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure the guys are fixing it when they're supposed to be fixing it. So the assignable contract, the reason why I'm saying that is there had been times, not a whole lot, but there are times when someone goes, "Hey, Caesar, you're all the way out in Austin. I'm 10 minutes away from this house. I absolutely love it. I just want it for myself. I don't want you." And so if that were to happen, instead of me slowing down or stopping the sale, I will simply step aside, assign the contract over to that person. So in that way, you still get the money in your pocket in the time frame that we discussed. Okay?
That's me. I just, you know, I can't afford it. And, you know, both places, and that's what I'm just going to, you know, let it go.
Exactly. At the end of the day, the goal is to just put money in your pocket and we'll make it as convenient as possible for you. All right, brother. So all you have to do is sign right there. And then once you do that, I'll go ahead and sign it myself as well.
I thought I checked it while ago. Well, I don't know. I checked the special signature. Let me go back in because I was trying to get some pictures out. But I'm going to go back into the email anyway and then send them that way after I get off. Because I hate to bet these damn phones.
Well, I'm sorry, Dennis. What was that?
I said I'm going to go and send it, you know, email. Or, you know, send the pictures to you in a minute anyway. That's where I was over for the pictures. I got them right here in the phone.
Yeah, text me the pictures, but also right here, once you sign this agreement, I'll sign it as well. So in that way, you know, we're in agreement to purchase that property off of you.
Okay. I'm going back in it because I was over in the pictures then.
Oh, yeah. Go back into it first. Let's take care of that first, then you can always send the pictures later.
All right. Is it on the front page where I check the electronic signature?
So once you open the document, just scroll all the way to the bottom to the last page, and then you'll see where it says sign. That's where you sign.
Yeah. Well, come on, open up. Okay, that bottom. Seller.
What was that? Yeah, at the bottom it should say seller, and then it should say signature right next to your name.
Yeah. How am I gonna sign this thing?
So when you click, so you see where the box where it says sign, it should be like in bright yellow. So if you click on that, then it will tell you to either sign with your finger or it will pick a signature for you, and then you can just authorize it, whatever it is that you like to do. Dennis, you still there? I hope I didn't lose the guy, but I think he's trying to sign it. That's why. Dennis, you still there? He hasn't hung up yet, so I think he's still signing. And Sosha, you asked what programs do I use? What do you mean by that? What programs are you referring to? Yeah, while I'm waiting for Dennis, I mean, obviously I kind of made this look a little easy, but at the end of the day, this is what I've been talking about, right? Out of 10 people that you talk to that are in the right motivation bucket, only 1 or 2 of them are going to be in the right motivation, right price. Obviously, this one is it. Even if it's a full gut, 4,000 is still the right price there. And then the other 8, it's still going to be right motivation, wrong price. So it's really important to get in front of these people as soon as possible so that if they are in that right price, right motivation bucket, you're the first one to lock it up. If they are still on the right motivation, wrong price bucket, it's very important to educate and inform, empathize, explain to them why you need to be where you need to be. They don't have to agree. You don't have to get mad. You don't have to argue with them on why you have to be with where you need. You just need to explain to them. And at the end of the day, if the number doesn't work for them yet, it's okay. And be a human being and make sure that you put a smile on their face before you get off the phone, because at some point they're going to find another wholesaler who's going to lock them up at a higher price so that they're happy, but they'll never, I don't want to say they'll never, but the chances of them performing on that, getting it across the finish line, slim to none. And when they come back, they can't perform. Guess who's they're going to remember? They're going to remember the person who took the time to educate and inform them, and who also put a smile on their face. So something you ought to do. I always say this business is all about farming. We're hunter and gatherers, right? We kill what we can kill right now, but the other ones, the 8 to 9 that are not ready yet, that's okay. But we need to be able to get a hold of them again. I don't know what's going on with this guy. Hasn't hung up, but hey, Dennis, you there? I think it's safe to assume I should just call this guy back, huh? What do you guys think? Let me see if he signed it first. Oh, he did. All right. Let me give him a call just to let him know.
Yeah.
Hey, Dennis, it's Caesar. I just I lost you there for a second, but I just signed it myself. So if you check on your if you check your email, you should have another email.
Yeah, just open the second one and close it.
Perfect. It says completed. So now you have a copy of the fully executed document. Okay. So
Yeah.
what I'll do just to let you know what the next steps are, I will have two people reach out to you. The first one is Cassidy. She'll probably send you a text or give you a call. Cassidy is our transaction coordinator, so she's the liaison between title company and you. So if title needs something from you, she'll let you know, and vice versa. And then the other person is either Tom or Chris. They're actually in charge of scheduling the walkthroughs with our contractors. Okay, so whenever we have someone walk in there, they will at least let you know, so that way you're aware. Even though we can walk in there anytime, we just want to be respectful of you and your property. Okay. All right, brother.
You know, I want to move. I ain't exactly sure just which box it is, but
What was that, Dennis? I'm sorry, man. I can barely hear you.
I said, go through these boxes and find the paperwork, tell you.
Yeah, well, I mean, title's gonna pull up. Title's gonna do what they do. So any information there, I mean, I looked on county right now. It's under your name, so I don't think there should be any problem.
No.
All right. Yeah, I just want to let you know what the next steps are, so no surprises. All right, brother. You take care. Rest, and then we'll touch base. Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Dennis. Have a good one. Bye bye. All right, so let's go. That is one hell of a deal, guys. If that thing doesn't move, then I don't know what will. Getting it at 4,000. The only way that thing doesn't move is if it's fully run down, burnt down. Then now it becomes a land deal. But we'll see. I was showing you guys this. It's an ARV of 140,000. So I had to repeat several times because I didn't know if he was saying 4,000 or 40, but obviously he meant 4,000. So this looks pretty good, right? This is a hell of a deal. It's a trifecta. You can do it as a flip. You're looking at a 46% return, or if you want to keep it, I didn't see what the rent rate is. What is the rent rate in that area? It's not showing. 1 second. But as you can see, if someone does the Burr method, they obviously get a free house. So that's huge as well. But whatever the rent is, I'm pretty sure it's over 1%. So let me take a look. Yep. Rent is about $1,000 in that area. So let's say even if it's just 800, we're at 1.7%, which is just crushing that 1% rule. That, my friend, is what I call a trifecta. Yeah, I just putting it at 14. That's probably where we're gonna land, or 15. It really depends, Jermaine, because if it's livable, or if all we need to do is just put a new roof, then obviously we're gonna bump this up, right? Because then I can go 25 on it, right? And that would still look pretty good. Now, if it's in a really bad shape, then I wouldn't mind just getting a 15. One thing I've found is, like, in a lot of rural areas, if it's in a really bad shape, anything under 20 would be good. If it's livable, anything under 30 will move quicker. At the end of the day, right now for me is velocity. It's the holidays. January is usually pretty slow. So anything we can get, I'm going more for volume. So if we can get 4 to 5 deals wholesaled by the end of the month, I don't mind taking a little bit off just to get the money quicker. So that way we have enough reserves for January, have enough capital for marketing as well. So guys, that was pretty cool. Let me just do this. And I've got another person to call. Oh, he's sending the pictures. Let's see how it looks. He's sending the outside picture, not the inside. I wish I can share my screen and show you guys, but then I don't want you guys stealing this, do y'all? Yes, this is a lead from Property Leads yesterday. Let's go. I'm actually gonna go ahead and text Steve right now. Let him know. $140. Yep, all the pictures that he's sending me are outdoors. It's boarded up. Obviously needs a new roof. So we're looking good nonetheless. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and make another call. This one is also another Property Leads, but this was from a while back. We actually wholesaled the property that she inherited from her dad. And man, it was a North Carolina deal. It took us a long freaking time. But we hung in there. She had sunk in some money there. She was paying taxes, debts, attorney fees. She just wanted to get out of there. And so we made it happen. It was signed up under different wholesalers as well. They signed it up a little bit too high. At the end of the day, they were signing up like at 20, 25, 30,000. And so when I signed her up, I had signed it up for 12, I believe. I forgot the exact number, but yeah, it was in the low teens, if that. And obviously she was like, well, other people offered me this. And my line that I always use, guys, hey, look, Mr. Seller, do you want me to fail like the others, or do you actually want me to put money in your pocket? Because at the end of the day, they locked you up at 25 and 30. It didn't move. Obviously, it's not worth 25 and 30. So you tell me what you want. If you want me to fail, I'll send you a $25,000 contract. If you want me to put money in your pocket, this is where it needs to be. And she said, yeah, let's make it happen. So we did. Guys, I'm just adding the notes here so my guys know what to do. Oh, by the way, I just want to point this out. Guys, you're asking like, how do I find buyers if I don't have Investor Lift or any of these other software tools? Here's the comp, right? This thing got sold when? This thing got sold in February of this year. Look at this place. 9 out of 10, whoever bought this is most likely an investor. So skip trace this, and that's going to be my buyer, right? I can call the buyer's agent if I want to. I probably won't go that route. I will go ahead and skip trace this and sell it to him or her, whoever the investor is. What about this one? This one looked like it was, you know, renovated a little bit. This was sold October 23. I will go ahead and skip trace this as well. This is a potential buyer. At the end of the day, guys, there's a will, there's a way. Just remember, if these flippers are buying these distressed properties, guess what? They're also going to put it up on the market once they flipped it. Therefore, you have found yourself a buyer. And when you call, by the way, don't ask if they're buying. Just be like, hey, John, I noticed that you bought this property on 904 West 9th Street earlier this year, and it looks like you flipped it. Oh, yeah, great, man. How did that go? Looked like you got some pretty good profit there. And you just let them talk, you know? Same thing with this guy, right? Or this gal. Hey, Jane, I noticed you bought this property on West 10th back in February for 45. You living in there? You have tenants in there? Da-da-da. Hey, man, I've got a property down the street. Same square footage, same bed and bath count. I'll get it to you for half of that, or $15,000 less, 60 cents on a dollar. Sell it to them for $30K. Let's see if we have any comments or any questions here before I call the next caller. Jermaine, looks like Steve is going to earn my business. Absolutely. Jermaine, use my link, by the way, because you get free $250. I also get free $250. So use my link and then send him an email so that he can give you a quick demo. Let me put it in my chat. Let me put it on the chat here. Here's my link if you want to use it. If you don't want $250 in your account, then don't use my link. Where are you getting most of your leads from daily? Great question. I use a lot of speed to lead, but we also use property leads from time to time. And like I told Steve before we got on the call, one of the reasons why I got away from property leads is because all the leads we were getting were rural, and I hated the bidding portion of it. Like I don't want to think when I'm buying, right? Like if I'm using the energy and time to think, I want to spend it on looking at the leads to figure out if this is a good lead or not. And speed to lead offer that to me because you can see like if it's a full gut, what type of renovation needed, how long have they owned it, is it vacant, is it not? So for me, I'd rather look at those and pick which leads I want to buy versus having to pick or choose like when should I turn this on, when should I turn it off, what's the bidding process. So I didn't understand a whole lot of that, and so I really didn't put in that much effort into it. But now that Steve I've explained it to me, that's actually pretty good. So I'm definitely gonna use them. So from time to time, why not? Let's see here. Okay, so let's call this lady.
Welcome to your wireless carrier's voicemail system. Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
Yeah, this is a great question. Will spending $3,000 a month on speed to lead get me 1 or 2 deals sold? Are you talking about sold or locked up? That is a heavy loaded question. And what I mean by that is it really depends on your skill level, right? Are you able to lock up 1 deal every 10, 20 leads? With $3,000, that should get you just shy of, um, actually not shy, yeah, just shy of 100 leads. Out of 100 leads, you should probably have anywhere from 5 to 10 contracts signed. I would say 5, right? So for every 20 leads, you'll lock up 1 contract. So yes, I believe $3,000 is enough. But once again, I don't know. I haven't heard you on the phone. I don't know your skill level. So obviously, the higher the skill level you have, the higher the chance of you locking up contracts. Just curious in social, like, who have you been following, or what process are you currently using, and how many deals have you locked up?
Welcome to your wireless carrier's voicemail system. Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice message system. At the tone, please record your message. When you are finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Mandy. Good afternoon. It's Caesar. Hope all is well. Long time no talk. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving with the family. When you get a chance, give me a call back. Definitely love to chat with you, see how we can help you this time around. Okay. You got my number, 415. Now I completely forgot my phone number. 415-296-1196. Uh-oh. Am I getting like a little bit of COVID brain here because I cannot think of my phone number? But I will go ahead and shoot you a text. Okay. Thanks, Mandy. Bye-bye. Guys, I don't know why, but I couldn't remember my phone number. What is going on with me? That was so weird. All right. Let me call. So the lady that I sent the agreement last night, we actually went over the agreement on the phone, but she couldn't figure out how to sign it to save her life. So let me make sure that she signs it.
Good afternoon. May I help you?
Hey, Danila. Good afternoon. It's Caesar. How are you?
Oh, hi, Caesar. I forgot all about going back for that email. I need to go get that taken care of for you, okay? Or at least I'll try. And if I have any problem, I'll give you a call right back.
Yeah. All right. Wonderful. Are you going to do that right now?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you. And then let me know, shoot me a text or call me if you have any issues, or if you've signed it, let me know. So in that way, I know that it's done, and I can send you the copy of the fully executed document. Okay.
Will do, sir.
All right. Thank you, Danila. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ooh, he did send me the inside as well. Okay, there's definitely a huge roof. I mean, huge hole in the roof. Sure, there's going to be mold in there now. Yeah, but with 4,000, it can still move. I think this moves at 19, maybe 29. So one thing that I've realized, guys, is, and I actually want to hear your guys' opinion on this. Do you guys like to start high, or do you guys like to start low, right? In other words, like this one, 4,000, I can start at 19 or I can start at 29. This is a new area for us. It is pretty remote. And so I've got my my thought process behind it, but I'd love to hear from you guys. In your case, would you market that property that I just locked up? Would you market at 19,000 or 29,000? And while I wait for you guys to respond, I notice in Socia, put in no process, my store difference at private money for the last 2 years, and we're doing fix and flips. Okay, great. Those are your deals. Came from, you were the end buyer. Wonderful. Okay. So if you're the end buyer, and then now are you getting into just straight up wholesaling? Yep. Didn't read all the way through. So now you're trying to wholesale, got to figure out the lead generation and build a buyer's list. Absolutely. I don't know if you heard, but Investor Lift is free now. There's no subscription. And then if I understand it correctly, once you have a deal in the pipeline, you can go on there on God mode. You can literally paste the address. And what it will do is it will pull up all the buyers near that area. So if you buy the top 100 buyers, it will be $50, I believe. So 50 cents a buyer is what you're going to be paying for. So that's a good way to go about it. Like I said earlier, if you go on, I mean, you were flipping, so you understand when you bought a property and then once you're done fixing it, you put it on the market. So you can easily find those buyers as well. It may take a little bit more work, but it's doable. So you bought an office for wholesaling and that failed. I was using Deal Machine that didn't bring me nothing. Got it. The Deal Machine, do you guys use Deal Machine for buyers or sellers? I think that might be for buyers, right? Not 100% sure. All right. Let's see if Mandy has reached back. Most properties in your market with an LLC. That is very true. But if they're listing if they're listing the house on the market, if it's a FSBO, you'll get a hold of them. If they're listing with an agent, and let's say you skip trace, you can't get a hold of them, then you can still call the agent, right? Maybe cut the agent in on a little piece. If you have enough spread, maybe pay her second half of the commission. If not, it is still a deal that you're giving that realtor, which he or she will be the listing agent once the flipper is done flipping the property or fixing the property. So it's a win-win situation. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, if they don't gatekeep, and I've talked to some realtors who have done that, and my question to them is, why would you? At the end of the day, you're not the only realtor. Your buyer is not the only buyer in town. Guess what? When I get off the phone with you, I'm going to call the other realtor who's got a flipped house on the market, and I'm going to ask him the same thing. So the question is, either your buyer will buy it and you get to list it, or someone else will buy it and they will list it. So do you want to have a shot at listing and earning some commission on the back end? And if the answer to that question is no, then I probably don't want to work with you because you're not thinking about the big picture. You know? Okay, let me see if she signed it. Yes, she did. Wonderful. Great. Let me give her a call.
Yes, sir. Did you get that?
I did. I just want to let you know that when you go in your email, you should also have a copy of it. So you should see DocuSign. It should say completed, and the copy of the fully executed document will be attached to that email. Okay.
Okay.
So make sure you star that email or save it, so that way you can always go back to it. And then Danella, just as far as next steps, just very quickly, like I said before, because it's a 90-day close. One, I'm gonna send my guys out there twice. One probably this time around, probably in the next couple of weeks or towards the end of the year. So in that way, so just so that we can see the current condition, right? And then once we get closer to March, so sometime in February, that's when I'm really gonna go to work and send more contractors out there, make sure everything's good to go. But otherwise, what I will do is I will have two of my team members reach out to you. One is Cassidy. Cassidy's our transaction coordinator. So she'll be the liaison between you and title. And then the other one will either be Tom or Chris. And they're actually in charge of scheduling those walkthroughs with our contractors. So, they'll call you a day before to make sure that you're okay, that we do it in the most convenient time for you. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Remember I told you I was in the process of putting the porch on the front. I said it's okay to go ahead with that, right?
If you still want to put the porch on there, by all means. Are you going to spend?
Paid for.
It's already paid for. Okay. Well, I mean, if it's already paid for, yeah, I guess you can put that on there, because I was just going to say,
it's not going to cause any structural changes to the house itself. It's just
okay.
Put up on the, we're just putting up a front porch is what we are.
Yeah, yeah.
Right now there's only cement steps up to the front door, and until recently I had an awning already for that, so that it blocked the rain from dropping straight down onto that second step. But it'll make getting in and out of the house a lot easier, a lot more convenient. We're going to put that walkway out to the rise, and then a ramp down to the sidewalk, so it'll be two-directional entry.
Absolutely. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, feel free to do that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still your house. We still got 90 days.
Okay.
Just don't burn it down. Don't put any holes in the wall. Which absolutely. Well, if I don't speak with you before the holidays, have a happy holidays, you and your family. Stay safe, have fun, be warm and jolly.
Something to do that's encouraging and hopeful. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and I'll text you with the names of my team members who's going to reach out to you, just so that you know. And then if they reach out to you today, tomorrow, like, no rush on it, but I just wanted to give you the heads up. Okay.
Okay. Again, I appreciate it. You have a happy holiday with you and yours, and try not to work too hard, Caesar. Be kind to yourself.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. You have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. 2 deals within 24 hours, both of them from property leads. Both of those leads came in yesterday around 2:30, 2:45. Locked one up yesterday at 5. I think it was like 5:45, 6 o'clock. And then obviously the one that you guys just saw me do. So perfect. So it's 2 o'clock. We have a titanium call with RJ Bates and the titanium family. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here. And if you guys, like I always say, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so. Check out this page later on. So sometime later tonight, I'll include the links on there. I'll also include the link of that video that I posted this morning, which was the property lead that I closed last night, which was the lady that you just heard. And then I'm going to look at that email that Steve had sent me. I'm going to include that in the description below as well. So in that way, you guys have those funny or creative text messages that he was talking about. Okay. So other than that, guys, tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow is actually going to be a great day. I will have a few folks who already have their teams set up, and these guys are going to talk about their process and also their journey from when they started to where they are now. And then these folks are also looking for people to join their team. So if you're someone who has very little to no capital, or you just don't know where to go and you're the type of person that needs to see it from soup to nuts, it's a great way to trade your time and your grit for experience and knowledge, right? So I'm going to leave that with that and tune in tomorrow. And tomorrow will be, I should have said it, it will be 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. So I will post it on my YouTube channel for an update. You guys just turn on that notification so you guys get notified as soon as I go live tomorrow. Thank you all for the support, and hopefully I was able to add value today. Have a good one. Oh, yes, and in Sosha, you can call me probably an hour from now. Feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook. I also put my phone number up there. So I'll drop it here. Now I remember my number. Can you believe that? All right, there you go. All right, folks, have a good one.